this is the perfect time to go into a game segment.
Okay,
So
great.
I've got a voiceover game here. All I'm going to do is list out accents,
Oh no.
impressions, people. I would love to hear your best version of it. All right, let's hear the Arab sports channels, NBC Action,
Oh yeah, yeah,
KSA.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. There's one that actually Matt Chads used to do, and I liked it a lot. So it was just really good. It's on the NBC Action or NBC Two, whichever you want. You know, it's like which is the Batman, the Dark Knight trailer. So I'll have a part of it. So it's like رجل الوطواط هو لا يخاف الليل هو لا يخاف شيء الآن على NBC Action 9 KSA على NBC Max or whatever, you know. And the trigger word, which is somehow at the end of it, is the 9 KSA, which is like 9 KSA time. That's the trigger word for me because that's always the thing I hear at the end of the.
They always stress the country so
Yeah,
much, right?
They only say KSA because obviously it's a big market, right? So they need to emphasize that, but that becomes a trigger word, you know. التاسعة KSA WWE, you know, and it just becomes so excited, like what's going on, you know? And it's like John Cena or Seth Rollins, you know, like that, you know. So yeah, I like them because they're exaggerated. I like them because they're cheesy, you know, because they have this thing, and it works. You know, it works. I mean, that's you grew up on movie trailers like that. You grow up on you know, coming to a theater near you, and now it's all the actors speaking. You know, it's just text on the screen. You know, will you survive? You know, but I'm reading it, but there's nobody saying it, right? It's just like, will you survive the next night? You know, we didn't survive. You know, it's just it's just the actors that are speaking. You know.
Okay, next one, and you mentioned it, Batman.
Batman. You want me to do an impression of Batman?
Let's see the Christian Bale one.
Oof. I tried. I used to do it before. You know, why do you want to kill me? I mean, I've done it before, but people do it better than me. You know, I did. I mean,
Currently, you're the best one in the room. Don't worry.
really? Yeah, in the room. Yeah,
I'm not very hockey fan.
And
No one's
Joker
buying
would
that.
say, "I don't want to kill you." You know,
Oh,
it's
that's
like,
amazing.
yeah. I used to do it way better before. You know, I used to do it.
Wow.
It was like. It was,
Imagine how much better it would be if it's so good right now.
yeah, I used to do it.
Bane,
way
do you
better.
do Bane?
Bane, yeah, Bane. I used to do that as well when the Dark Knight came out, and all that trilogy was part of the whole experience. So it's like nobody who cared nobody who cared who I was until I put on the mask. I mean, it's
I found a trick that when you use a like a mug to it, then it's like
yeah, you can.
it gets that.
Yeah, yeah.
It gets
And it was actually very different to if you heard the original version. It was very different.
And then they changed
They
it.
changed it. Yeah.
They
So
made
again,
it
like
worse.
just yeah. Well,
I couldn't hear it when I was
Yeah.
watching the theater. I remember I was like, I didn't understand half the stuff.
I mean, it just goes to show you that I mean, like he's a great actor because he can you know, portray his emotions through his eyes, and he has many like kind of scenarios, like even Dunkirk, same thing. You know, he was a pilot. You don't see him speaking; it's just his eyes. But it just goes to show you that you know you can do the scenes a certain way. You need to do some touch ups or changes along the way. You know, so.
I tried to get into Michael Caine impressions when I was watching the movies. Man, that's tough.
Yeah, Michael Caine. I did one. I have one section which he says, yeah, it's don't want to be the person I told you so. You know, but he says he does like the Batmobile then. You know, that's the one that my friends used to ask me to do in university because he would always say the Batmobile then. You know, when Bruce Wayne asks him. Yeah.
I do a very slow one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's good too.
So I have next. I just thought of something when we said the British accent, Michael Caine. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you had it now. So British. I mean, I could do. I don't know if it's.
Do you do the Cockney one?
Yeah, but I can't differentiate that much between. I've learned actually how to do a bit of the Liverpool accent.
Let's hear it.
But do you want a chicken and a koch? You know, that's what. Yeah, it's either chicken and a coke, and you use those as the
go into the store.
Yeah, the tricky your trigger words should be like those, but it's not that great, you know, because it's very sing-songy and I like it a lot. Some people's ears are bleeding right now, but I'm saying like I like the sing-songy part of it, but it's apart from that, you going to Leicester, you know, like that's, you know, Leicester Square. What's this? Trying to go to Leicester Square. Yeah, Leicester. Yeah, take the tube down. You know, take the tube. You know, but I learned that from Rex Navarrete, who's a comedian as well. He's a Filipino comedian, amazing guy, and that's how he would do that impression. You know.
I couldn't tell, by the way, these accents, the differences, because when you're growing up, it's all English for you. So it's like most of the shows you used to watch are American, and even with the American accent, there's such a difference with New Yorker accent, West Coast or something like that. It's the Southern accent. So I never knew, and then I started hearing about the British accent is so hot from all the women, and because One Direction was big back then. So when I went to the UK, I was like, this is normal English. When they're just like, oh, we like a bottle of water, and I was like, yeah, that's English. And then I realized when I went to the US finally in 2014, and one guy came up to me on the street. He's like, "Hey guys, would you like to try some weed? It's good." And I was like, "Okay, now I see it."
Yeah,
Now,
but the thing is that, yeah, see, look, like for example, Fred Armisen, I think he was on a show once, and he was doing like impressions of places in like of accents in the
I saw that.
states. Yeah, you know which
On
one I'm talking
Conan,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, and that the interesting thing about that is that when you're impersonating, and I don't do it well, but when you're like I'm still like kind of like still amateur level, but when you start out, like he's impersonating the personality within the impression. That's the like that's what you need to be aiming for. You need to aim for the personality.
Yeah, you need to know if they're aggressive, if they're warm,
Yeah,
and
so
put that in.
and you can even like show a different side of an like if like we said Arnold is always like shouting and whatever, you can show the different side, like he usually speaks down here, so you can show that side as well, and people won't expect it and say, wow, that's a different take on the impression.
Okay, let's hear news anchor.
News anchor?
Yeah.
Man, why'd you make me do this? Coming to you live, this is Channel 7 News. We've got some reporters in the field. The weather's not doing too great right now, but I think we'll take a quick commercial break because I need to go pee.
Let me give you two to wrap this game up. And one is the Indian accent.
Indian accent?
Yeah. We all do it, let's face it.
Yeah, we all do it.
Yeah.
But there's with the Indian accent, there's like I like to use technology. When you, for example, you're going to the store and you want to buy a TV, so you can go and say, so how much is this TV? See. I always start with that, to go with the see. This TV, boss, I'll give you best price, but this one is OLED. You don't want LED because that is now old technology. So you have to you lengthen certain words, and some ones you need to do them very quickly.
Very nuanced, huh? I must say.
That's the thing. So if you want it to be believable and credible, you have to kind of find those like little like nuances in somebody's like voice and the thing that they say, because like Indians, when they are speaking, they're very, very detailed. When they're trying to explain something to you, very detailed, and telling you that this is like this because of this, and you have to catch it to be able to.
It's a good observation, because when I ask people in Indian accent, they all go rata ta 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 ta. I have no visa, and I'm like,
I mean, this is like, yeah. I mean, look at the end, like people, they stereotype, right? And they stereotype because to a certain extent, certain things exist, not everything, but you want to do a nice impression. You want to make it like you want to wow somebody with the impression. You need to find the right tone. See, at the end of the conversation, you kind of like slow down, but at the beginning of the conversation, you like slow. But in the middle, it's usually fast. It's usually fast, like talking about something. So we're shifting today, but tomorrow, it's like that. So you have to.
Final one to wrap up the game, and this one you should be able to do the best. The Lebanese accent.
Lebanese? Oh my God, I hate doing it. Actually, I hate doing it, but it's something that is very stereotypical. But I like to just go with like the plain Lebanese one, because sometimes even thinking about it, sometimes I can't do it. But it just as a chance. So for example, الو ايه شربيل كيفك حبيبي شو اخبارك تمام ليك so it is right ليك حجزت طاولة ايه خبرتهم للبنات ايه يلا بشوفك نازل يلا بشوفك يلا take care.
Akid, man. Akid.
He closes the phone and like, so he's your friend, like, what's going on, buddy?